Just waiting on Annette. Hi.
Hey, hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I feel like I'm like right here.
Yeah, I know. This picture is really, really weird.
How are you today, my friends?
Well, I've had to renegotiate the space with my cat who decided to join us
Oh
for
my
today's reading.
goodness.
That was supposed to be my spot, but apparently she decided otherwise. So it's
What's her
okay.
name?
Ninja.
Yes, snuck up on you like a ninja.
Exactly. Of course she did.
Yes.
How
I
about
love
you?
it.
How are you?
I love it.
How are you?
Good. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a wild ride these past few days, but it's all good, right?
Hey, all
So
right.
how about you?
Very hot, but nearly not as hot as in Arizona, I bet, but still very sweaty and just, I need some air.
We have some of the residual winds from the hurricane hitting California.
Okay.
So you go outside and your hair just stands straight out, you know?
I can only imagine.
So, it's like I said, it's a wild ride, What are
I
you going
bet.
to do?
So, are you ready for
So,
this?
you want to introduce yourself? Go ahead.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marina. I'm a witch. I live in France. I do coaching and also healings and massages, and I create a lot of different stuff for your rituals, but also jewelry. So that's me in a nutshell. What about you?
So I am an accredited radical liberation coach for women. So I really step in there and help women when they've done everything else. And, a lot of those things are difficult life transitions, be it like empty nest to, tragedy to divorce to, all the things. So that's where I really step in and help out. And then I'm also a Reiki master. So I use that, of course, in my practice. And yeah, so here we are. And intuitive. So that helps, with all this stuff, kind of connect everything, right?
Yes.
Anyway.
So did you do a tarot pull for us this week?
Yep. Sticking with the
Okay.
tarot.
Awesome.
Do you want me to go first or do you want to go
Yes.
first?
Sure, go ahead. Go
Okay.
first.
Well,
Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know. Yeah, good. Yeah,
okay.
that's good.
Sometimes, if a call comes through, it like cuts everything out. So anyway, so thank you. I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah.
So for those of you watching, I'm sure you're familiar with tarot and oracle cards and using, I don't know, I keep getting that call. And you know what it says, Marina?
No?
Spam. I'm like, go
Of
away.
course.
I'm busy here.
I'm sorry. Aren't we supposed to be like in Mercury retrograde or something? Isn't that like the beginning right now?
Yeah, it's starting, I think, in a couple of days. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the way things have been going for me the past few days, that's nothing. So,
Interesting.
okay, so hey, if they call again, then I'll, deal with it again. But here
Do
we
you
are.
want to put
So anyway,
do you want to put your phone on plane mode so you wouldn't be bothered by them calling? That's what I do when I do the lives, so that I don't get the phone calls.
I'm not going to risk it because if something at this point happens and then we lose a connection, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I'm not going to touch it.
Not
Okay,
risking
I
it.
guess we
I
can
get it.
we can try again, right?
So,
Okay,
let's take a breather.
so tarot is a very structured system. Oracle cards are a little bit more freeform, and tarot is a very old divination system, really used to talk about our journey through life and all the things, all the major things that happen. And it allows us to kind of use that as, you know, a roadmap. It's a snapshot in time and helps us to kind of make some decisions either way of what we want to do. So that's why I'm drawn to it. I love it. You know, anyway, so I use tarot, and I think I've shown you guys this before, but my little goofy, curious creatures. So we do a shadow and a light forecast for the week. And for the shadow this week, we have someone who showed up last week, the Queen of Pentacles.
Oh, in the same position, I think, even.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
So last time she was in the light mode. Okay, so the Pentacles, the suit of Pentacles is all about Earth and all the tangible things that you know, we create our life from, be it money, career, our self-worth, you know, our connection to those earthly tangible things. So this particular card again talks about this working woman archetype. She's very skilled at creating income for her family and also creating like an oasis for her family. So it talks about, you know, the connection between those two things. And one of the things that I talked about last week is in the Rider-Waite deck, the Queen of Pentacles is, again, a very, like an empress of her world, right? But she is in her garden and she is surrounded by a fence. And so it really does talk about, you know, trying to expand our boundaries and challenge our boundaries instead of just staying where you're comfortable. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that because she is so skilled at wearing many, many hats and being successful, she's prone to burnout. And, you know, it's really important. And I think, you know, having this be in the shadow portion really talks about making certain you take time to balance and to nurture yourself, because, you know, all it takes is just, you know, one little straw that broke the camel's back, and, you know, everything can kind of just come crashing down in that moment if we're not really conscious about balance throughout the whole process, right? So that's one thing that came. And I think, you know, being very resourceful and practical about any kind of solutions that may need to be called on for problems if there might be something going on in one of those worlds, right? So that's what I got for the shadow. And then for the light, I got, let me see it, strength.
Oh, strength. Okay.
Okay. And if you look at this card, I mean, she's a lamb, right? And again, in the original Rider-Waite deck, it has a woman who is taming a lion. Well, lions and lambs, right? I mean, a lamb is very representative of, you know, a certain kind of energy. And in this case, you know, using the white robes to signify purity. She's also holding a little, I don't know if you can see it, a little infinity symbol that looks like glasses. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the original deck, there's also an infinity symbol, which really talks about, you know, the idea that, you know, you have infinite potential and wisdom, and that, you know, the white robe is, like I said, the purity of spirit. The flowers, again, this relates to the earth card, but the flowers are in both her crown of flowers.
These like magnolias, or what are these? They
what?
Look like?
They look almost like either roses or peonies, something like that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But that talks about that connection to earth and to nature and to that beautiful, you know, world that we all live in. And the strength card in general is a major arcana card, and that's one of the big things in life that we need to call on is strength a lot of times. And this being in the light position, you know, talks about the idea of really taming that lion with calm, inner balance. The lion is a symbol of like these raw passions and, desires. And, because we're in Leo season, right? That's an interesting connection too. And so these can be really shown in, this positive inner resilience, kind of taking that strength in a calm inner way, not being loud and, kind of forcing control on people. So that was an interesting card. And then the bridge card is another major arcana card. It's Justice.
Oh, wow.
However, it was upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of the bridge between the light and the dark, that really talks about, kind of turning down the volume on your own inner critic and taking radical responsibility for things that you need to, instead of ignoring them. And that could be anything from, sometimes there are legal things that are going on. It could be just, your inner compass, maybe there's something that you need to address there. But it really, is an invitation to assess a situation that you may be in, to really discover where you can take that responsibility. And maybe it's, responsibility like, with this, maybe you do need to have, more time to nurture yourself and fill your own cup up, or to challenge your situation a little more instead of just staying comfortable, so, and having the strength to do that, because you do have the strength, right? So that was what I got for today. And I did pull a confirmation oracle card from the Spirit Animals Oracle.
Nice.
And the one I got was Heron. Okay. So the heron spirit animal is really about patience and taking the time to find the balance. So it, what was that?
In the midst of chaos.
So, with this retrograde coming up, there's always this buzz about, all the horrible things that can go wrong. And ultimately, as, souls on this earth, we really need to ground ourselves and just be balanced, and don't buy into all the crazy hype, the whole idea of our thoughts create our reality. And so, you know what, this invites us to just step confidently towards our purpose, but also, being patient, because everything has divine timing, right? And so I think that's, just kind of ground yourself and be patient. So
I love it.
That's
interesting that the same card came, but the different messages that came around it were also
isn't it
a powerful
interesting?
Yeah, very. That's interesting, because when I was doing the oracle pool, I channeled a little bit more than usual, and one of the messages that I got was to be mindful of what triggers you during retrograde season for Mercury retrograde. That there was some wisdom to understand from what will trigger you during this retrograde season. And I think that from what you just pulled, it's interesting with the heron and also the justice card. I think that's very interesting, putting these together.
Yeah, and I mean, the justice card can always speak to multiple things depending upon, what you need to hear. But that's what I got for the collective too, I got more that it was about, kind of being radically honest with yourself and to take that responsibility so that you can nurture and care for yourself, and to dial down the inner critic in our brain that just, you know, is on everything that we could possibly do wrong. And it's overwhelming, right? It's overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so, you know, that idea to really, you know, have the strength to just know that you are on the right path and you're fine. You just have to turn that volume down, right? So
Yes.
that's
Thank
me. So
you.
I'm anxious to see what you did.
Well, today I used the Spellcasting Oracle, this one.
Oh, I have that. I almost used that today. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
interesting.
Awesome.
So because some of the passages that I got were channeled, I have my notes, so don't be offended if some I have to read from them. For today, I decided to go back to this thing that I love, where you have to tune into your inner guidance and choose between one of the three cards that I pulled for today. So whether you're watching live with us or watching the replay, I invite you to close your eyes, take the time to breathe deeply from your belly, release anything that could be blocking your intuition, and ask your higher self to guide you toward the card that is meant for you today. You can ask for card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. Take a few deep breaths, release. And when you have your answer, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, you can open your eyes and come back with us. I got 3 beautiful cards for today, and I'm very happy to share them with you. The first one I got was New Beginnings.
Beautiful.
Yes, look at that archway.
It's just gorgeous.
Yes. So obviously it speaks for itself. The light part will be easy to understand. It's your time to embrace new opportunities. And you're probably at a turning point right now. So I invite you to practice gratefulness and reinvent yourself as much as you can. But the shadow part will arise if you're not in the present moment. So this might be a challenge for you this week, especially if we start Mercury retrograde, because you'll have all these little inconveniences that may happen in your life. So be very mindful of the moments where your attention is taken from you, whether you're thinking about things that happened in the past, or if you're spending a little too much time daydreaming, thinking about what could happen in a possible future, but you have no idea if this is going to happen. Try to bring your attention back to the present moment. This is going to be key for you this week. And if you need to, try to do some release work around being able to receive those new opportunities and release your need you need to control the outcome. These may not come in the form that you expected, so be ready to be surprised, but do your release work as much as you can. Because as I said before, things may trigger you this week, and it's interesting to look at what triggers you. Why is it triggering you? Is there a story behind that? Can you release it? Can you let go of it? Can you alchemize it in a way that will help you feel more comfortable with it without being like on edge? So that's the message for this card. If you pull card number 2, you have transformation. For this one, you need to stop waiting for outside recognition, definitely, and look at the way you've transformed yourself these past few months and what is happening for you right now. You are at a crossroad, and some fears may arise, and try as much as possible to not let them control you, because what you feel right now is just remnants of the past. These can be old patterns that were taught to you as a child. These could be unresolved traumas, or just your ego who doesn't like to be dismissed and is like, just, hey, no, dude, I don't want you to change. every time you can feel that something is coming up for you and is telling you that your transformation is not valid, you can just push that thought aside, just banish it from your realms, your inner realms. These thoughts have no place for you here. You are here to transform, and this can also trigger the people around you. So one thing you may need to do this week is pay attention to the way people react to your transformation. Are they supportive? Are they telling you things that don't sound very nice or that are not really compliments? Are they judging you? And remember that these are just projections of their own fears onto you. And my dear, the message I got was, my dear, you are ready to open your beautiful wings, fly to new heights, enjoy the journey, and tell us about the view from up there. So try to embrace that card.
That's the one I pulled.
Awesome. So this
That's
one
the
is
one.
for you.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad this resonated. And
Yeah.
the last card I got was blessings.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. For this one, the invitation is to deepen your spiritual practice this week, to try and connect as much as you can with it, because this will help you be grateful for what's already there. And just like for new beginnings, the shadow is kind of similar, because you may feel a need to, I don't know, control what happens, and maybe you will feel some lack energy or disappointment in the way things happen to you. Try to look at them from a more of an outsider perspective, and try to look at them for what they are. If these are blessings, even though they don't come in the packages that you expected, thank them, embrace them, and just look at, like, I mean, she's opening her hands and there's light in it, and those little freckles of light. The more you embrace these blessings, the more they will come back to you, because you will send them in the universe, and this will resonate with the people around you. So thank the beautiful relationships that you have in your life. Thank the opportunities. Thank the material things that surround you and that you love and that help you on a daily basis, and be as grateful as you can. And the message was also that one of your dreams may be coming true. So just try to not put too much pressure on it. It's okay if it takes some time, but eventually it's going to happen. So this was my message for you this week.
Awesome. Awesome. That was, I mean, that was just perfect. Perfect. Nicely done. I love it.
Is there anything coming up for you this week that you want to talk about? An offer or something you want to share with us?
Well, I still have Money Mystic, the course that launched on Friday, and I decided to continue the sale price for until I feel like I need to take it down. So it's still there.
Okay.
And yeah, you jump in. It's $111. It's very affordable, and it's just all about the energetics of money. And it is super valuable. It's got a lot of wonderful things that kind of help, write that story that we all, either have been given to us or, conditioning, whatever, and allows us to write our own story. And so, yeah, it's awesome.
Yay.
So I still have that. And then, of course, I love doing these with you. So we'll be doing this again next week. And how about you? What do you have happening?
Well, I still have the one-on-one sessions for these readings. I do them, we don't have to be on Zoom or on the phone. I usually send you either a voice memo or a written part with a picture of the cards I pulled. I've changed slightly the way I do them. Now I don't limit myself in the number of cards and in the number of decks that I use. I really take the time to go deep. And the way I've done them so far is very, very interesting, because we have a lot of nuances that come up. So these are very interesting. So these are on the Magic Shop. You can find the link in my bio, but you can also DM me if you want to know more about how to schedule one of them. And
Awesome.
yeah, there will be also a launch for the Astro necklaces that I do. And I'm currently working on a special offer where you buy the necklace with the sun and the stone that goes with it, the sun and the stone that goes with it. And I want to make a little package with a ritual practice that you can do to activate these like talismans. And I think these should come out by the end of the month. So stay tuned.
That sounds awesome. I know your work
We'll be using
is
the
beautiful. So I say everybody go and get one because they're just beautiful.
Thank you so much. And yes, I'm very excited about next week too, to do another one because these are always so fun to do together.
They are. And they're so resonant. It's so interesting to me because you guys may or may not know, but we do not talk about these readings before we do them.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, go with the flow and see what happens. And Marina's in France and I'm here in the States. So I just love it. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. Love the transatlantic connection.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We're cousins after all, right?
Yeah. Well, I will put the replay on YouTube with the French subtitles probably tonight or tomorrow morning, and it will be up on Instagram in a few minutes. So let us know if you're watching the replay. We'd love to know what you think of these readings.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you all very much. And have a beautiful week. And just stay grounded. Put your feet on the ground and, go with the flow.
And enjoy the ride.
That's
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.